Hey guys and gals, Josh here, and today I wanted to talk to you about my favorite Dreamcast game of all time. Recently, my good friend Heavy Metal Bake Sale has been doing a lot of Sega content here on YouTube, and I was inspired to throw my hat in the ring. By the way, after this video, you should check out his content using the link below. He makes videos about Warframe, Destiny, and a bunch of other games, and he's a pretty swell dude. But don't tell him I said that. But today, I want to talk to you about a game that not a lot of people really talk about. A really good JRPG that, despite a GameCube re-release and a cult following of fans, never got a sequel or the spin-off it deserves. I'm talking about Skies of Arcadia. For the uninitiated, Skies of Arcadia is a turn-based JRPG in a world where people live on floating islands in the sky. The world below has basically been destroyed and left derelict, leading people to live on the floating islands above. They travel between these islands on floating boats. How do these boats work? Don't worry about it. You play as Vice, a member of a band of pirates called the Blue Rogues. Basically, flying boat Robin Hood people that plunder the ships of the omnipresent and kind of evil empire and give those riches back to the poor. There are other pirate factions called Black Pirates who plunder everything from imperial ships to innocent people as well. The game starts with Vice, Ica, and a group of blue rogues attacking an imperial ship for its plunder. They end up finding a girl named Fina, a girl from the civilization below thought to be long extinct, who's been kidnapped by the empire for nefarious means. The campaign centers around traveling between floating islands and the world below to uncover the mysteries of the old world and stop the Empire from using its technology to conquer the skies. The combat from the outside looks as though it's a tactics RPG, but the placement of the characters doesn't actually matter to the fight. As far as the game is concerned, the placement of characters during battles is to add cinematic qualities to the fights, as characters can be seen duking it out in the background during a turn. The game plays out like your standard turn-based RPG, with some major streamlining. Spells and actions have simple names and effects. The leveling system is class agnostic, which means most characters will learn all of the spells and abilities eventually, and combat takes place in 2 different arenas across the game. Most of the battles in the game are traditional character-to-character, boots on the ground kind of gameplay. The other combat arena involves ship-to-ship combat. Fighting is still turn-based, but Skies treats your ship like a character, and eventually you gain upgrades for it as the game progresses. The game takes a lot of staples from classic RPG battle systems and simplifies them. For example, instead of each character having a separate mana bar for you to manage, the entire team has one collective pool, visible at the top of the screen at all times. This means that casting a spell with one character affects the ability for another to, say, use their special attack once their turn rolls around. It takes out the cumbersome management in favor of a sleek and more friendly design. However, that doesn't mean that it's any less tactical. Planning your turns out based on who's going to use what is just as meaningful as it would be in, say, Final Fantasy. Skies of Arcadia also has a very distinct anime art style. Unlike a lot of JRPGs that were coming out at the time, like Final Fantasy VII, which prioritized large, expansive worlds, Skies of Arcadia creates smaller spaces with very distinct characters and environments that are ultimately smaller, but have a lot of personality packed in. Also, how have I gone this long without talking about the music? Seriously, this music. Just listen to it for a second. Skies of Arcadia was eventually re-released on the Nintendo GameCube as Skies of Arcadia Legends. The game has slightly higher resolution graphics and comes packed with extra content not available in the Dreamcast version. The GameCube version also lowers the amount of random battles you'll encounter throughout the game, while increasing the XP you'll get from those battles, which significantly trims the fat of an already stellar game. I realize this is a video about a Dreamcast game, but to be honest, if you're gonna play it, I recommend trying to get a copy of Legends. Just be prepared to pay a lot for this game. While ultimately it might be cheaper to get it on the Dreamcast, I think that the GameCube version is just objectively better. I could go on and on forever about this game, but I can't, because this is a video and it has to end at some point. So I'll end with this thought. Skies of Arcadia is one of those once-in-a-generation hidden gems. It's a game that deserved so much more. but despite its relative obscurity, it excels on every level, and is a game worth returning to. It's the equivalent of JRPG soul food, and hopefully, like the epilogue states, as long as there is a thirst to discover the unknown, there will be new stories to tell and new adventures to be had. Maybe one day it will get the sequel it deserves, but until then, we have this one amazing adventure to come back to again and again. Thanks for watching, everyone. Once again, be sure to check out Heavy Metal Bake Sale's YouTube channel. He makes some really cool gaming diary videos and occasionally reviews stuff. There's a link in the description that'll take you there. Also, be sure to let me know what your favorite Dreamcast game is in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and all that other jazz. Bye. Love ya.